Hi, I'm Katie Tatum. About 2 years ago, as the big week of my sister's wedding was approaching, so was the big week of the Powder Puff football games. And it was the last night, I remember, of the football games, and it was the juniors versus seniors. And I was a senior this year, or a junior this year. And so we were so pumped about this game. We were like, we're going to beat the seniors. That never happens. And finally, I remember we played so hard that game, and we had like the athletic team. And so we beat the seniors that year, and that never ever happens. And so after the game, we were all like, we have to go celebrate. This is a huge thing. And in my town, there's not much to do, so we went to Taco Bell. And we had some nice tacos and some slushies to celebrate. And we were on our way home from Taco Bell. I had one of those big red slushies. And we were driving down all these little back roads, and I see a flash in my rearview mirror, and I swerved and swerved, and I ran off the road, and I flipped my truck twice, and I bounced off a tree, took down a barbed wire fence and a mailbox. And I blacked out. I don't remember anything that happened. This was all from just what was around me that I had been told, because my boyfriend at the time was behind me and had watched the whole wreck happen. And so after all this happens, I get out of the truck after I wake up because I had a concussion. After I wake up, I get out of the truck and I walk over to the side, and I'm just sitting here looking at my truck and everything. And my mom was already up in Johnson City, where my sister lives, getting ready for her wedding. And so my dad has to call my mom and tell her that I got in a wreck and all this stuff. And they say that it's kind of crazy that I lived through that, because it flipped so many times. And my truck, well, they pulled my truck out of the ditch and they flipped it back over, and it looked like it had, like, whoever was in it would not be alive at all. Like, the mirrors were smashed, the windows were smashed, the whole back of it was just crumpled in. And they pull it up, and from where I had my big red slushie in it, it looked like someone's brains had exploded all over the top of the truck. But they pulled it up and towed it away, and I came back home, went to sleep that night. Woke up the next morning, and it was time to go to my sister's wedding. And so we had to get up and drive to Johnson City, which is a few hours away, that morning. And all I remember was laying in the backseat of the car with my dad driving and my sister in the front, and just not moving because I couldn't feel a single part of my body. And I just laid there. And we got up there, and my sister's wedding, her colors were like maroon and brown and like fall colors, because it was in October. And we had strapless dresses, and so in every picture I have a strapless dress, and then it looks like I have a one strap from my seatbelt bruise that's across my shoulder. So now, from now on, every time we talk about a wedding or there's a wedding coming up, my mom is always like, well, everybody, you better be careful for the next few weeks. Here comes the wedding.